Hi, I'm Scoot, and welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. Hey, I want to reach out to all of you who are new subscribers. Thank you for becoming new subscribers. It's free, and really, this is just really the ground level of this YouTube channel. And we're going to have fun with this. Well, I mean, sometimes it's about serious stuff, but we do have fun with the channel. A lot of interesting stuff on here, and the videos that are posted here on the channel are pretty self-explanatory when you take a look at the headlines. But I want to really thank all of you who have been listening to the show on WWL Radio during our coverage of Hurricane Ida. And thank you for subscribing. And I hope you enjoy it, and feel free to comment. And I want to apologize for not commenting on all of your comments, because I just really have been overwhelmed right now, living in my office here at WWL at the radio station, and then also doing 2 shifts a day. But that has come to an end, so I'm no longer doing 2 shifts a day. So I'm off for the rest of the night. I'll be back on tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. So I have a little bit of a break here. I want to talk about the human reaction to Hurricane Ida and the real stories about Ida. First of all, you've got the scammers. People like a guy called the radio show today, and he said that there was a gas station in a section of New Orleans, and they were only accepting cash. There was no price on the pumps, and they were pretty much charging what they wanted. And as it turned out, this guy figured out what he paid. It was $4 a gallon. For New Orleans, that's kind of outrageous. Price gouging. And he said they actually were in the parking lot with what he described as automatic weapons. I mean, that's thuggery. And then there are the looters. Looters in New Orleans. First of all, we already have a great degree of lawlessness in the city of New Orleans. And I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I love New Orleans. I'm from here. I've lived all over the country. I'm from here. And I'm back home. I just moved on the Friday before the storm hit. I just moved out of downtown New Orleans because of the lawlessness, because I no longer felt safe in downtown New Orleans. I love this city. If you come here as a tourist, be careful, but you're safe. You can come here as a tourist and have fun. But in the building that I lived in the neighborhood that I lived in, right downtown, right in the central business district, I no longer felt safe. So I moved out to an area called West End. Haven't even spent a full night in my apartment because I'm living here in my office at the radio station. So looters in New Orleans some are being released on their own recognizance. I mean, what the shit? These freaking thugs are going around stealing shit. They get caught stealing shit, looting, and you're going to just release them? These little punk thugs, they've got cell phones. They talk to each other. They know that it's like no big deal to get arrested. And in one parish outside of New Orleans, they were letting looters go with a $25,000 bond. In a neighboring parish, the bond was $1 million. When are we going to start holding people accountable? That's when the crime situation changes in New Orleans and in America. But then there are the great stories. There was the woman who called my radio show, and she had a dog that was panting in the heat. The dog had some health issue, but the dog was really panting and having a hard time with the heat. She had an elderly woman in the house with her. And so here's a woman who can't get out of her house because there are trees in the way. I'm talking to her on the air. Within about 45 minutes, she calls me back and says, Scoot, these people showed up with chainsaws and they cleared the way, and they also gave her a bag of groceries. So there are really great stories. In fact, there's more good stories than bad stories. And that's what I want to really focus on here. There's also the guy who I saw just a little while ago. I ran out to my new apartment to pick up something. And there was a guy who pulled up in a van, and it looked like he was giving aluminum platters of hot food, hot meals to homeless people. These are real stories about real people. And I know the negative news gets more attention than the positive news, but I don't want to just tell you about all the bullshit. I want to tell you about some of the good shit. And then there's a woman that called the show, and she was so mad at her husband. She was so pissed off at her husband for spending all of that money to buy a generator. Now she loves the guy. She was mad at him because she said, you could have bought me a diamond ring for as much money as you spent on that damn generator. Now she loves the guy. The diamond ring wouldn't mean shit to her. Generator means everything to her. So that was an interesting story. Then I constantly hear stories about neighbors helping neighbors, people helping people clean out their refrigerators because, look, the electricity's out. We don't even know when it's going to come back. And you got to get that stuff out of your refrigerator. Then there was the woman who called today and said that there was a thunderstorm that came, and she'd been a couple of days without a shower because they have no water. Some places have no water and no electricity. She said, I went outside buck naked because she saw this cascade of water coming down from her roof during a thunderstorm. She said, I went outside buck naked and I took a shower right there in that cascading water. I said, good for you. Wish I would have been there. So let me talk a little bit about the complainers. You've got people who, it's like they want to bitch and complain about something, and they really don't know what they're talking about. For example, the bitching and complaining about no gas. Now, gas stations have just started opening up. Not all of them, but some of the ones that have generators have just started opening up. But it's been hard to get gas in. So this woman is calling my radio show and she's bitching and complaining about, well, why didn't they have this planned? She wanted trucks and trucks of fuel trucks lined up outside the city ready to come in after the storm. That's just not logistically possible. Plus, this storm kind of crept up. And the problem is there are not enough gas stations open to put all the gas. So the gas needs to go in the stations that have the generators, so it doesn't sit at stations that don't have generators that can't pump the gas out. And so, I asked her about the logistics plan, and she had no freaking idea, really what to do. And she really was trying to be an antagonist. And the other question is, with all these people who are like in need of gas, okay, this is day 4. Right now we're in day 4, and all these people are in desperate need of gas, some for their generators, but many for their cars. So I started asking this question on the air. How much driving have you done since the storm? Saturday and Sunday were terrible days. You couldn't go out driving Saturday or Sunday. Everything was shut down all day Sunday. So how much driving have you done? Nothing was open on Monday. Nothing was barely open on Tuesday. Wednesday, things started to open up. So how much driving did you do? Or did you maybe not fill up before the storm? It's like people fail to prepare and they want to point a finger. Again, there's a lot more good people than bad people. And then, I get a call from somebody and she's going, well, none of the stores are open. There's no stores open. There's no gas. Bullshit. Stores are open. I went to one today and there's gas. I don't need gas because I filled up before the storm and I've still got 3/4 of a tank of gas. I'm not going to tell you where my car's parked because somebody might want to try and come get the gas. And yeah, there've been looters trying to siphon gas out. So gas is a hot commodity. But look, this is fucking day 4. We had a major storm blow through here. It may be upgraded to a category 5. Hurricane Ida went on, and this bitch kept her strength, went on to New York and caused all the flooding in New York and problems in the Northeast. This was one powerful son of a bitch. And there are going to be forces of nature that can't be controlled. And so when you're told to get ready, you really have to get ready. One guy calls today and he's bitching and complaining because he was in a long line for an MRE. That's meals ready to eat. And they're giving out MREs. The National Guard is handing them out. Well, he goes through this long line. He's the only person in the car. He says, well, he got one. He says, well, I need more than one. I've got I've got 6 people at home. I'm sorry, sir, we can only give you one. So he's mad about that. And so I asked him, I said, well, sir, which day did you run out of all the food that you bought to prepare for the storm? He said, oh, I still have some food. What in the hell is wrong with people? I guess there's some people that are, look, I understand you're hot and you're frustrated and you just want to freaking bitch, but I mean, let's be smart. Let's bitch about the stuff that we need to bitch about. I also posted on my Facebook page, Scoot on the Air, and I hope you join me there if you haven't yet. And it's a video of one of the power poles that snapped in the storm. This thing is like dry wood that is just so brittle. No wonder it snapped. And it's cheaper to do this. So you've got all these very vulnerable power poles all over the place. And many of them are down. And maybe it's time to have a conversation where we try to kind of figure out a way when something is a monopoly, like an energy company, maybe we figure out a way to have, listen, I do not like regulations, but maybe there should be a way to regulate these companies to where they take some of their massive, massive profits, and instead of reaping the benefits of massive, massive profits, they also do a better job of taking care of us, because that's their responsibility. So that's a conversation to definitely have. And then, there were people who just did not prepare for the storm, and they're trying to be mad at the government. And this one woman was mad. Well, when is the power coming back on? Well, we don't know. Well, why can't they tell us? They don't freaking know. There's a lot of assessment that still needs to be done. So I just wanted to share some of the real human stories, some of the real reaction, the human reaction to this storm. And it runs the gambit. But I will tell you, there are more good people. And when somebody calls up the radio show to complain and bitch and just has some nonsensical complaint with no solution, no even direction for a possible solution, there are calls right after that go, man, you guys are doing a great job of giving out the information. I can't believe that woman said that. I can't believe that guy said that. But this is the real great function of talk radio, because it gives us a chance 24 hours a day to give out information following a disaster. But also it gives us a chance to talk to you. And I get the frustration, and it's hot as shit out there. This is a rough time of year in New Orleans. I don't know how people used to live without AC, but they did. There was a time when there was no electricity. There was a time that people lived through the heat of the summer every year. They had no choice but to live through it. And I know it's miserable. I'm staying here at the radio station, living in my office here, because I have no electricity in my brand new apartment where I haven't even spent one night yet. But it's miserable. It's hot. So, I mean, I get it, and I get the frustration. I listen to the frustration, but sometimes the frustration makes me really frustrated because I just don't know what the hell people expect. What did you think? And what part of you makes you not realize that nature is nature, and there are forces in nature that are bigger than anything we can control, and we're used to controlling everything. So that's one of the lessons to be learned from this. You don't control nature. There are wildfires that are caused by lightning, not stupid lasers that are put up in space by Jewish people. Thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for that bit of comedy. There are earthquakes. And no matter what they do to make buildings safer in an earthquake could come to the point where the building collapses. We live on a planet that is a very active planet. There's a lot of beautiful, great things about this planet. But there's a lot of fury that comes with this planet. So look, I get the frustration, but man, let's just, let's get through this. And if you go through a tough situation where there's a disaster, think about some of these stories that we've talked about and think about how ridiculous it seems for some people to be complaining and bitching about stuff that is really, in some ways, it's because they didn't prepare, or it's because they don't understand the fact that the fury of nature can be vicious. I'm Scoot. Thank you for joining me on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you do become a subscriber. It's free. We'll give you a notice every time we do something live. And join me on my radio show tomorrow on WWL Radio in New Orleans. It's 870 AM, 105.3 FM in New Orleans in the Gulf South. Or download the app Audacy, AUDACY, and type in WWL. I'll be on the air from 2 to 6 tomorrow afternoon, Central Time. And you can also type in WWL.com. Go to our website, just Google WWL.com, go to our website and stream the show there. So I know it's tough. Try to stay positive.